So we are here with Mr. Rahul Sharma, who works in the field of education and is a teacher at Campion School, Mumbai. So, sir, my first question to you is, please tell us a little bit about your current occupation and how you feel about your current job.
So my current occupation, I'm a teacher at Campion School. I teach students of 7th to 10th math and physics. How do I feel about my job? I think it's a wonderful profession, and it gives me a lot of happiness to what I do.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is, teaching is a very important part of if any say country or even any system. So how does one get into the field in terms of qualifications, etc.?
So basic qualification from your, I would say there are two types of qualifications you would need. One would be your subject domain expertise, which means if you want to teach mathematics, you should know mathematics. So that's your subject domain expertise, which would be doing your graduation in having some form of mathematics during your graduation. It could be during your BSc, or it could be during your engineering, or it could be during any of your courses that you take up during your graduation or post-graduation. The next qualification would be the how to teach part of it. So how to teach part is something which you get through a degree called Bachelor of Education, which is B.Ed. You can also do a Master of Education, which is M.Ed. This will give you insights into how to teach. So these are two basic qualifications you would need, something at the graduation level and something from the education perspective, which is B.Ed or M.Ed.
Okay, thank you. So, sir, would you recommend any colleges or even courses that like stood out to you?
So the place where I did my B.Ed from, that was Pillai College of Education and Research, Mumbai. It's a very good college. St. Xavier's is also a very good college. So whichever college you're looking at for doing your uh, B.Ed degree, you should definitely uh, meet the principal there, meet the faculty, check out the curriculum, and if possible, meet a few alumni of that college. It'll help you understand how good the college is.
What is the work like? What does the work entail, like in terms of work timing, skills, and other functions of the job?
So every teaching job would have two parts to it. One would be the academic part or the actual teaching part and things related to teaching, and the other would be an administration part to it. So the teaching part is not just restricted to those 40 minutes of your classroom. When you year start, you will have to have an annual plan for how you want to space out your syllabus, then a monthly plan, maybe a term plan as well, and then followed by a weekly or a daily plan of your lessons, how you would pace your lessons and what you would do in each lesson. That is one part of the planning part. Then you have to figure out your assessment strategy, how many tests, how many assignments, what projects. So all that happens before you go to the classroom and start teaching. So that's a lot of interesting administration work, if I may say. Uh, and then you'll have your actual teaching, which will involve checking your notebooks, as in when you take an examination or a chapter test, you'll have to correct that. Those are the academic and the teaching part involved in it. Next would be some administration part, which would mean reporting all of this to the parents, reporting all of this to the school, generating reports for the students after you conducted tests, analyzing the data to figure out which topic was easily understood, what is a student lacking in, or which topics the students are strong in. So that's a lot of analyzing of data part, which is also a part of your job. So in terms of
Okay,
timelines, I won't suggest any specific timelines, but your typical school hours plus 2 more hours, I would say minimum.
okay, sir. So, how like teaching is not as easy as it seems, and like going from a student to a teacher, how did it feel making the change from being like from one side to the other side of the classroom?
So in my case, my change from a student to a teacher happened after I finished education in 97, and my first stint as a teacher was in 2013. So that's what, 16 years or 17 years of gap between when I was a student and when I was a teacher. So I won't say it was a direct transition, but yeah, it's interesting being a teacher, and the perspective changes completely compared to when you was a student.
Yes. So did you feel any different? Like, did you feel like what you did as a student, you would have done differently, knowing what it is to be a teacher?
No, I'm not sure. I was never a so-called Badmash student. I was always a well-behaved student, though I did all my, uh, though I did indulge in activities which my teachers won't call really very good. But no, I don't think I was too troublesome to a teacher. And I think if my student does exactly what I had done, I would be happy.
Like, how do you make a decision to go from, say, an engineering career to that of teaching? Or like, how did you take up on teaching, like making the decision? Because many students not only struggle with subject choices, but also career choices. So how do you make your own personal decision?
So before I became a teacher, I was a marketing professional for 15 years. How did I make my decision? To put simply, I thought ever since I started my marketing career, I always thought I loved sharing a few things with students. I always loved a classroom environment, and I always wanted to be maybe share or do things differently in this profession. And there came a point of time when uh, financial stability was available to me. That made me make that shift because it's a big shift purely from the financial perspective, from being a marketing professional to a teacher. So
Yeah.
once that financial stability was there in my core, in my career, that's what helped me take that shift from a marketing course to a teaching course.
Okay, sure. So now there are various teachers that have multiple subjects that they teach, right? So is it necessary for someone to repeat the program or do an extra year of the program just to be qualified enough to teach another subject?
From that perspective, no. So like I said, there are two aspects to it. One is your content knowledge, and the other is how to teach knowledge. So if you've done a B.Ed course and you've done it well and you've taught for a couple of years, that part of how to teach would have been taught to you properly. The part which is content knowledge, I don't think you need to repeat any course to do content knowledge that you should know. In case you don't know, in any case, content keeps on changing and keeps on new aspects keep on coming. So you will need to keep abreast with whatever is happening new in the field of whatever your chosen subject is.
Okay, of course, teaching is a vast field, and you said that you came from a math background, and therefore you became a mathematics teacher, right? So many people they start as teachers right out of college, or like they do an English degree and then may diversify into another subject. So, in those 2 years of teaching or learning how to teach as such, how does one find out what content material they would like to teach the students or like decide upon which subject teacher they would like to be?
So when you're doing your B.Ed course, you need to take up two subjects that you would want to choose. So you need to major in your B.Ed degree in the two subjects that you want to teach. So during the B.Ed program, you also have a content class or a content course. So during a B.Ed course, you will have, say, let's say I went through a math course, I went through a science course. So that's something which will help you identify what you're interested in and what you qualify. So for example, if someone who's done a graduation in English and want to take up mathematics as a subject, the possibility of that happening is very less because during your B.Ed, you will need to have the content knowledge to be able to take up that course.
So from your teaching journey, would you like to share an anecdote or two for students to like listen to, or like any personal experience that you would like to share?
Uh, Anecdote, when I started teaching, I worked with Teach for India and I was working with BMC school in Mumbai. And the experience I had in teaching the students who were a part of the BMC school was much different from what I am currently having at Campion School. So there are various things of what people value at different places. So something which a Campion student has no value for or he feels taken for granted, those are a lot of things which the students in my previous school would give their life for, right? So there were things which were so important to them, which a student at Campion finds no value in. So the perspective which you get from working with different students is very different. So I won't specifically share an incident as such, but what my takeout from that would be uh, things important from different students is different.
Yes.
So you need to plan your teaching in a manner that you're able to cater to student A and student B, so that
Yes.
the objective of you becoming a teacher is met.
Any advice or any statement, or even on the field of education, or even in general, that you would like to give to students, or like any words of wisdom, etc.
Uh, Enjoy your life, do what you feel like, and be sincere in whatever you do. So I am a big movie buff, and I love a few dialogues from different movies which stay with me. So one such movie which I loved was Three Idiots, where Ranchod Das says, "कामयाबी के पीछे मत भागो, excellence के पीछे भागो. कामयाबी आपके पास खुद आएगी." So do what you want to do it well. You will be successful in any case.
Yeah.
But to be sincere and do what you want to do well.
Yes. Completely agree, sir. Thank you so much.